Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, originally releasing on 3DS on March 24th, 2013, and getting a remake under the name Luigi's Mansion 2 HD for the Switch last month. Luigi's Mansion 2 follows Luigi's traveling through 5 new mansions to fix the Dark Moon and save the world from the ghosts of Evershade Valley who have gone on a rampage. Hello everyone, it's me, Gamer Guy, and today I'll be ranking all the bosses in Luigi's Mansion 2 from worst to best. But first, let's go over some rules. I'll be ranking these based off of 3 features: the design of the boss, the gameplay, and the music. Also, I won't be counting the skyscraper bosses because that would make this video way too long. Also, keep in mind these are solely my opinions, so you're free to have different ones. With that being said, let's begin the ranking, starting off with number 11. The Tough Possessor. This boss resides in the secret mine and has decent music, nice boss design, and very interesting gameplay. You slide down an ice tunnel to bomb this ice monster, which adds a whole new dimension of gameplay and makes the experience unique. But why is it at the bottom? Being hard. You shoot bombs to break the ice shell around the boss, but every time you break a piece, it moves back farther, which makes hitting it and timing terrible. Worst part is, if you don't damage him after a while, he'll regenerate and regain his entire shield, making you start over. Worst part is, your sled is on a timer, so if you don't beat the phase in time, you automatically lose. Also, the Possessor here is alright. I mean, I like the teleportation mechanic he has, but the ice monster itself is bad. If people gave up on Luigi's Mansion 2, it was right here. Which sucks, because this boss kept a lot of people from seeing the rest of the game. Number 10. The Three Sisters. This fight takes place in haunted towers, and is kinda annoying. You see, the way this fight works is you gotta wait for one of the sisters to lower their mirror and flash them with the strobe bulb, and then vacuum them up. The annoying part about this is, when vacuuming one up, the rest will try and attack you, and most of the time you're gonna have to let go of her and try again. All the while, a toad is screaming in panic. The design of them are good, and the music is pretty solid, so while the looks and sounds are good, this whole boss as a whole could have been better. During our trek through Gloomy Manor, on Mission 3, we investigate a strange sound coming from the library, only to find a piano being played by this guy. This is the Poltergeist, and attacks by turning invisible and throwing books to attack. However, once you flash him and start to vacuum, the books will start to float and attack you, similar to how the sisters attack, but here it's easier. The books are less difficult to deal with, and the Poltergeist isn't too hard to vacuum, so this is a solid boss fight and has good music. I also like the Poltergeist's design, mainly the ball or brain in his translucent head. But although this boss is good, it could have been better. I would have liked to seen something similar to what they did in Luigi's Mansion 3 with Amadeus Wolf Guys. Either way, a decent boss nonetheless. Number 8. Harsh Possessor. The final battle in Haunted Towers takes place in the tree that is in the middle of the mansion itself. The boss takes the form of a haunted staircase that you must battle by pulling its tail? The music is good. I definitely like the design, and the gameplay is solid, and the boss would have gotten a higher spot if it weren't for 2 things. You see, there was one thing I've neglected to mention. To actually fight this boss, you must travel up a long staircase, and which doesn't sound too bad until you realize if you choose an incorrect path, you will be sent back all the way to the bottom and have to fight a ghost. Now, to be fair, when you're sent back down, the torches show you which way is the correct path from where you left off, and they relight to hide the path, forcing you to use your memory. The second part is minor, but I would have liked to travel into the treehouse itself, but either way, a decent boss fight, definitely worthy of number 8. Number 7, Overset Possessor. The final boss of the old Clockworks, is not even a boss. It's more or less a case of fighting enemies to fight the boss. Yeah, not really a boss fight, but still. Aside from that, I really like everything else. The music is good, and the clock as a fighting platform was a great gameplay idea. And I enjoyed the clock hand moving that as an extra challenge, so the fight itself isn't too stale. Although I would have liked to see Luigi fight like a giant clock tower monster, This boss was good to play, so yeah. Could be better, but still good. Number 6. Agent Poltergeist. Found in the ruins underneath the clockworks, we find a tomb containing the clock hand we need to traverse up the clock tower. But before we can claim it, the ancient Poltergeist appears and takes the hand, resulting in us going on a ghost hunt for him. When we find him, the boss fight starts. He fights by causing a sand tornado that throws bombs and throws bricks at us. He also sends out sneakers to attack us. Prior to all this, the build-up is there. We were given a reason to chase after the ghost, and while the fight could have been better, it's still a good fight. Just needs some work. Number 5. Strong Poltergeist. While exploring the treacherous mansion, we must make our way to the train exhibit. But when trying to put a book to unlock the passage, a hand pushes it out and is revealed to be the strong Poltergeist. And it takes the book to the space exhibit, and we get a pretty cool moment where we look through the telescope to see the Poltergeist on a planet. Then, when we exit, we find ourselves on that planet, and the boss fight begins. It's basically the Poltergeist fight, but in space, and has the same music as the Three Sisters, but why is it higher up? Similar to the ancient Poltergeist, I really like the build up towards the boss and the telescope moment. I also just like space in general. I don't know, I just like space settings and stories, I don't know. I also like the strong ghost designs with the cracks on them. However, despite all this good stuff, I have some negatives. The music could have been like a cool space theme, like a horror remix of something from Mario Galaxy. Also, I would have liked the boss more if it was like a ghost alien or astronaut rather than another Poltergeist. But hey, I like it, and that's got to account for something. Number 4. Bossus. After entering the train exhibit, we planned to ambush King Boo and capture him. But in reality, we were the ones getting ambushed, as a bunch of boos form Bossus. To defeat him, we must make him hit the train and stun him. Then we have to time it right so he'll go into the drill, splitting him up. We need to then launch the boos into the jail cells, on the train, and rinse and repeat. I really like the concept, and the boos themselves are nice, but nothing special. But I like the boo design as a whole, like just the regular boos from the Mario games. The gameplay is unique. While it can be hard to get the Bossus to hit the drill, it's satisfying when he does. My only complaint is that there's no build-up, and this comes out of nowhere. But I do like the twist of planning to ambush when we were the ones who were getting ambushed. Number 3. Groi Possessor. We have reached the top 3, and this is the part where deciding who would be number 1 became hard. But I figured this boss would be best at number 3. The Groi Possessor is everything the Shrewd Possessor should have been. Throughout the mansion, you're given foreshadowing in the form of spiders and cobwebs all over the mansion. Also, throughout the mansion, you learn about different mechanics involving webs and fire, all of which culminates into this boss fight, where you fight a giant spider, and you must burn the web to defeat it. I love how they use different puzzles and mechanics that make you use your head a little bit to think of the right way to burn the web. Despite all the praise, it does have one problem. When I tried dragging the web, the spider would shoot poison, forcing me to dodge, and probably hit a spider, making me lose the web, and have to go back and get it again. Although I figured out you can jump over them, which made the fight easier in replays. So minor issue aside, I like everything else, from the spider's design and the music, so that's why I rank it number 2 on my list. Number 2. King Boo. Now, here's the thing. In most video games, I believe the final boss is either the best or worst. And in this case, it's almost the best. While being transported back to the lab, something goes wrong and Luigi's pixels get pulled away. We then find ourselves in a dark room where we hear laughter all around us. Then windows open up and a shadow passes behind them and Luigi gets confused and scared and falls. Then, after a Mario painting fake out, King Boo reveals himself and the battle begins. I love this fight a lot. The way this works is you gotta make these spike balls land on King Boo's head, stunning him and allowing you to vacuum him up. However, when he has no health left, you get a fake out and then sent into a hallway which you must run through, as King Boo goes full Indiana Jones and rolls and tries to crush you. After you escape, the next phase begins. And then you do one more chase then vacuum him up, and the battle is over. So is the game, after you say Mario. I really enjoy the chase levels. I find it ironic how you were chasing after this monster the whole game, and now it's chasing you. The music when trying to capture King Boo sounds pretty good, and the boss fight music itself is also good. My only criticism I have is with this boss is when trying to vacuum him up, the spike balls stay on the platform you're on, and you're bound to get hit by them, making you have to try and capture him again. Which is a real shame because this boss just barely missed number 1 spot. Speaking of which, the number 1 spot for what I think is the best boss in Luigi's Mansion 2 is the Tough Possessor. After entering the illusion in the treacherous mansion, we find ourselves in an armory where the Dark Moon piece is being held by a knight. As we reach for it, the Possessor reveals himself and splits himself up and possesses the suits of armor, which come alive and try to smash Luigi. To defeat the knights, you must make them slip by vacuuming the carpet beneath them, making them slip. However, you gotta get them at the same time, otherwise the other will repair the fallen. Afterwards, you try and vacuum him up, and he does the whole skin peel thing, and then this time he splits up into 3 and possesses 3 suits of armor. However, taking what you learned, you just make them slip and vacuum up the ghost again. He does the peel thing, but this time he splits up into 4, and he goes through the window, where this happens. This giant knight attempts to stomp on you. However, make him stomp on the carpets with both legs and make the titan fall. Then vacuum up the ghost and retrieve the Dark Moon piece. This boss fight was amazing from the gameplay to the music. This fight is everything I wanted in a boss battle, and was such a cool boss fight, I'd happily replay it anytime. Luigi's Mansion 2 is an underrated gem from the age of the 3DS, and in my opinion, gave me so many memories of vacuuming up ghosts and doing missions to beat the game. So, that was me ranking the Luigi's Mansion 2 bosses from best to worst. Remember, these were all my opinions, and feel free to comment yours. And also, let me know if you want to see more stuff like this, and be sure to like and subscribe for all kinds of content on my channel. Anyway, I must go edit this video now, so I'll see you in the next one.